this video, we'll be highlighting the compliance and opt-out within the system, including our DNC.com integration. Currently, right now, I am on a demo system with a DNC.com account connected. You can see up here that we have the SAN number and API key. I'm going to be going through this whole page because it gives a really good idea of how we integrate with DNC.com to ensure compliance. First and foremost, we do have the marketing source consent window, so if you do purchase leads and you have a designated time in which you can contact them regardless of their status on the DNC, national or state lists, you can configure that here. The consent timeframes include 30 to 180 days. Next, this area indicates when you run DNC checks and how often. These are the available options that we currently offer, and we currently subscribe to the EBR, or existing business relationship, the enterprise scrub engine, as well as the internal DNC API calls. First and foremost, you can check the record upon initial lead creation within the system. At that point, you can run EBR and or scrub engine API calls. In addition, we can check at each call attempt. Similarly, we can also check at each text attempt. These include call attempts are typically manually done. However, text attempts can be both manual or automated, so we can even check this upon bulk and drip campaign and trigger initiated text attempts. In addition, we can check each new phone number saved. So, for example, if you have a mobile phone number and then a home phone number and you either edit or add, we run the DNC calls at that time. We can also run DNC scrubs and EBR at particular status changes. This is really important for establishing EBRs or existing business relationships. And lastly, we have a grace period setting. So say your contact strategy tells you to call someone 3 times in a day, for example, we can set the grace period to, at least 1 day or up to 30 days. So we can run it one time, and if we've already ran it that day, we would skip it based on your grace period that you've identified here. Moving forward to EBR code definitions, there are 3 EBR codes according to DNC.com. P, permission. This is typically express written permission. S, sale. That means that you've done business with someone. And then I, inquiry. It means that someone wants to do business with you. Everyone defines these differently, and these timeframes are just examples as everyone interprets the timeframes differently based on their legal counsel. But this is where you can define what a P, S, and I value means within SHAPE. And what happens at that point is when we run the various EBR DNC calls, we can pass through which letter value that record currently applies to. Moving down, we have the scrub engine code preferences. So when we run the enterprise scrub engine, DNC.com gives us back a letter code value. And below indicates kind of what these mean. Here you can define how you would interpret that opt-out, whether it's a full opt-out, so no call, text, or email in any way, shape, or form. Do not call, that just blocks outbound calling. Do not text, that blocks outbound texting in any fashion. Do not email, blocks emails. And then there's the manual text only, which will block any automated text messages, but would allow you to send one-to-one manual messages. And similarly to the EBR, your legal counsel will define what each one of these mean to your business. And we give you the UI to define that here. And then lastly, within DNC.com, you have an internal do not call list management, as in SHAPE, which I will be covering next. You can define when we add to your internal DNC or when we remove from your internal DNC. Here are some examples of some EBRs or some scrub engine results that have been run through the system. As you can see here, I had the DNC scrub code of H the last time that this was ran. The H code value indicates that while this person is actually on the DNC list, we have a valid EBR. So because of that, I'm going to drop this down here really quick. There are no opt-out toggles, indicating that you can contact them in any way, shape, or form that allows based on these particular settings. We also have a C code value that's a clean code, which of course opens up all of these values. This one has a P code value indicating, I believe that's the internal DNC, so that means that this person is on your internal DNC list. And because of that, you can see here these check marks are indicated and all of these toggles are on, indicating that you cannot contact this person in any way, shape, or form. Just to show this in action, I'm going to go ahead and launch the web phone really quick, and what I'm going to do is initiate a phone call, just to test it. So it'll try to initiate the call, but because it's registered on the DNC list, it will not continue. And when I refresh the screen once again, you can see here that I also received another P code value because we do run it at each, according to these settings, call attempt. Then you can see here that this one has previously received H code values, but we do sync across branches. So because at one point this person got a P code value, it was synced and the opt-out toggles are now on. So that ensures if someone opts out, maybe in a different instance, in a, for example, an enterprise level setting, you have multiple branches or facets of your organization, you want to make sure that the DNC preferences are administered across everywhere. This goes over our DNC integration and how we connect with your DNC.com account in order to ensure compliance. In another video, I'll be going over our internal DNC, even if you do not have a DNC.com account, and also AI insights of how we can review each phone call and if there's any compliance flags that occurred within them.